Welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk about Bitcoin and the fact that Bitcoin is falling. Is it the end? Now don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So Bitcoin has fallen considerably in the last 24 hours. It has dropped a great deal and I've calculated it to be around 55% in value. If you look here, on March the 12th, it has dropped from 6,400 all the way down to 3,484, and the price now is around £4,400. So it picked itself up a little bit, but it's dropped a massive drop, seeing its price drop from around 6,400 to £3,500. In all fairness, it is not the only market that is being hit hard and that has fallen. The stock market and the oil market also had their prices slashed. So what does this even mean? Why is this happening? And is this something that you should be concerned about if you are holding Bitcoin? The reason why Bitcoin is falling and the rest of the markets as well is because investors, people at the moment, they want to get their money back into cash again. They are afraid, the uncertainty, and especially as to what's going on right now with the COVID-19. So all of this is causing fear and people want to pull their money out, liquidate their investments, and they want cash. So with all that is happening in the world and the uncertainty of the economy, it seems people just feel more comfortable and safe holding cash than speculative assets like Bitcoin. And that's the reason why Bitcoin has fallen so considerably in such a short period of time, is because of the scaredness. So the real reason why Bitcoin had its worst crash in 7 years. Now this article says the reason why Bitcoin crashed, here it says by nearly 40% in the last 24 years, is due to the sell-off in the stock market, and that has sort of had like a knock-on effect on to other assets as well, and it's just caused all of them to crash. So Bitcoin plunged by nearly 40% in the last 24 hours. The brutal stock market sell-off is killing other asset classes. Bitcoin's safe haven and uncorrelated asset narratives have been thrown out the window. So you get people in the Bitcoin community, they say that Bitcoin is a safe haven and that it's not correlated with the rest of the market. So the stock market could be going in one direction and Bitcoin could still be going in the opposite direction. So the stock market could be crashing and Bitcoin could be booming. And what this basically is saying is that Bitcoin is showing that it's not a safe haven, because in times of economic crisis and where people are afraid, where people should be putting their money into Bitcoin, which is what you would do if it's a safe haven, people are trying to get out of Bitcoin, which is why the price crashed. And that is correlated with the other markets as well, because when the stock market crashed, so did the Bitcoin market as well. So those arguments have been thrown out the window. What I'll say to that is that Bitcoin at the moment is not a safe haven. It's a speculative asset that has the potential to be a safe haven one day, but at this present moment, currently, no, it's a speculative investment, and that's what really drives the price of Bitcoin, is speculation as to where it could potentially be in the future based upon its fundamentals. Also, when we're talking about Bitcoin as a safe haven, when there's panics like what we have now with the virus, everything sells off, even Bitcoin, because the people want cash, because at the end of the day, cash is what is used to pay for rent, to pay for your bills, and to make transactions on a daily basis. So that's why there's a panic sell-off. However, when we're talking about a store of value, Bitcoin's potential as a store of value is more seen when people are afraid of cash, when people worry that their cash is being depreciated and devalued and debased as a result of inflation and constant money printing. So when people fear that they're going to lose their wealth, and they see prices keep shooting up, and they see the value of their purchasing power with their cash keep going down, that's when people fear cash, and that's when assets, commodities like Bitcoin, gold and silver manifest itself as a real store of value. But in this situation now, people are more afraid of not having enough cash to be able to do their emergency buying. So people liquidate all their assets and run straight towards cash. So we have to take that into consideration as well when we're talking about whether Bitcoin is a store of value or not. Just wait until the day when the US dollar is on the brink of collapsing. Then that would be a good ideal situation to determine whether Bitcoin is a store of value, and whether gold is a store of value, and whether silver is a store of value, as you see what people do when they want to rush and get their money out of the dollar. So virtually no one has foreseen yesterday's drop, considering that Bitcoin has made tremendous leaps in fundamentals. Yes, this drop was unexpected. However, one must also take into account that the entire crypto market has never faced a global financial meltdown. The stock market tanking has ignited a sequence of events that forced investors to dump Bitcoin. So remember, Bitcoin as a market is much smaller, relatively speaking, compared to the stock market. So if people are pulling out of the stock market, then pulling out of Bitcoin as well, which is a much smaller market, liquidating your Bitcoin, and if you're afraid getting your cash, it's all just had like a knock-on effect all over the board. So the sell-off is killing all other asset classes, and this just talks about the stock market, how it's fallen as well, and this has had an effect on crypto as well, like a ripple effect. Gold is supposedly a safe haven asset in times of turmoil. Is also in the midst of a brutal dump. Bitcoin, an uninitiated asset, appears to be taking the heaviest damage in the middle of the crossfire. Now, why Bitcoin would probably take the heaviest damage is because it's a small market. If you're going to pull out of Bitcoin and lots of people are doing it and it causes a panic sell, because the market is smaller, it would fall quicker compared to markets that are in the trillions. Price swings in Bitcoin would be much more wider, larger, bigger percentage wise compared to other markets. So that's why Bitcoin has had the heaviest damage compared to other markets. So traders are finding liquidity where they can. So at the moment, investors are afraid. They want their money in cash. They're chasing cash. So they're just liquidating what they can to get cash. Should you be concerned? Is this something worrying, that this huge price drop that's happened in Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin over? And in short, my answer is no, of course not. I don't know why you bought into Bitcoin personally, but the reason why I did is because of the core fundamentals of Bitcoin. This is what has made me attractive to Bitcoin, is the core fundamentals. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still a decentralized, scarce supply, deflationary currency that cannot be manipulated by banks and is permissionless for everyone. And that, in my eyes, will always have value compared to our current debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme that only benefits the rich and screws the majority of the masses over as their wealth is gradually lost from them due to currency debasement. So already the Fed has stated that they are going to inject $1.5 trillion into the financial market to try and prop it up. These short-term plaster fixes, what do you think it does to the value of your actual currency? The only thing it does when you print out free money, which is the only solution that the bankers have to every problem, is print out money. The only thing this does is debases your currency. It causes it to become worthless. You cannot just keep printing out free money to save crashing markets or to keep this endless debt-based system going. And this is why cash is never king to me. So you get these investors, they're all rushing into cash because they think cash is king. To me, cash is not king. Cash is worthless. So when Bitcoin it's crashing now because people want and feel safe with cash, to me, it does not change the fundamentals of Bitcoin or the fact that our current monetary system is crumbling and requires constant cash injections to stay alive. Our current monetary system is never going to be sustainable. Every fiat currency in history eventually returns back to its intrinsic value, which is nothing. And that's going to happen to all the fiat currencies out there, the pounds, the euros, the dollar. Eventually it's going to go back to its real, true value, which is nothing. It's just created from nothing, out of thin air, just typed onto the screen, into the economy, and it's backed by debt. It's unsustainable. It's going to crash. And for people that get this, the people that understand this, they get the bigger picture. They won't be selling off their Bitcoin holdings, but they would continue at the very least to hodl or even buy more at these low prices. I mean, I think the people that are selling their Bitcoin are the people that didn't really truly understand or appreciate it, and in it probably for the wrong reasons. Whereas the people that really understand the bigger picture, they are not going to be shaking out the market. I'm not telling anyone to buy Bitcoin. It is a speculative, risky asset that has good fundamentals nonetheless, and it does have potential to grow into a mass adopted currency and to be a potential safe haven asset. Personally, I think it is going to make it, and the reason why I think Bitcoin is going to be successful, despite the ups and downs in the process, but the reason why long term I think it's going to make it and be successful is because our current monetary system will continue to make Bitcoin look attractive. Because we have such a poor, weak monetary system that's debasing our currency through debt and printing of free money into the economy, such a system is only going to make Bitcoin and its scarce supply of 21 million Bitcoins look really, really attractive. Also, we can't forget about the well-established assets like gold and silver, which are both well-established also forms of money throughout history, and they have also always been a store of value, especially silver, which is extremely undervalued and is real tangible physical wealth that is scarce in supply. Bitcoin, if anything, out of gold, silver, is the most risky out of the three, but as the saying goes, the greater the risk, the higher the reward, right? However, if you want to play it really safe, I do recommend that you get into silver to protect your wealth, so long as you're doing something to protect your wealth as a hedge against this inflation. And the sooner you understand that cash is not king, nor is it a safe haven, which makes no sense why people are selling off their Bitcoin to hold on to cash or to have cash, or dumping their gold and their silver to buy into cash because they feel it's safe and that's what they want in times of crisis or in times of economical turmoil. The sooner you just understand that this cash is not a safe haven and it's not king, the less afraid or concerned you would be about short-term price swings in Bitcoin, gold or silver, because you understand the bigger picture. So cash to me personally is only good for selling it to buy real scarce supply assets, to buy real money. I love selling my paper money that's printed into existence, that takes no effort or work to be created. It's just brought into existence. I love selling mine for assets like gold, silver and Bitcoin, which is scarce in supply. So what is happening now to Bitcoin could be a good opportunity for people who have been sitting on the fence to buy some. Now is a good as time as any, while the prices are low, as the best times to buy into something that has potential is when other people are fearful and afraid, as that is when you get the best prices, like today. And as always, I recommend that everyone does their own research, understand the things that you invest into, invest in things you understand basically, and never put more money into Bitcoin than you can afford to lose. See you next time. Have a good day, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and goodbye.